today we're going to be going over the fundamentals. Okay, so we're not getting into anything like really crazy, but also this program is really user friendly. So what we're going to be doing is a lot of semi-custom, and it's really pretty user friendly. Like I said, you're going to be able to do a lot of work using the visualizer software and get a really, really great design that you can use for your clients or passive income, to use on social media, lots and lots of different things for your design business. So we'll just give it about one more minute. Already 200 people live with us today, which is awesome. Love to see that. So the chat is not for questions. The chat is for saying, hey, where are you from? The Q&A is for questions. But like I said, I'm going to be going through a lot of stuff. So if you can just hold your questions, if you don't mind, if possible, I will be going through a lot of different things, and then I will circle back through. Lauren's here to answer Q&A chat questions as well. Yes, everything is recorded, and it will be emailed out to you if you have registered for this event, which I'm assuming if you're here, you have, and that'll be sent out tomorrow. Okay. All right, so. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Lauren, do you want to go over the requirements for the program real quick while I'm getting set up?
Sure. So the visualizer is browser-based. So there are no minimum software requirements for your system, just needs to be a PC or a laptop. There are app capabilities, but we're just going to be very honest, it is not optimal. It's not as easy to maneuver and do all of the robust actions and features that you can do in this program, because you really do need a mouse. So a trackpad does work on your laptop, but for those precise movements and things, always having an external mouse is always going to be what we recommend. As far as which browser you should be using, Chrome is always recommended. It will work on others, but not optimally, and the functionality just won't be what it should be. So just make sure you're always using Chrome.
Okay, everybody can see my screen. Two screens. Okay. Let's dive in. All right. So if you are in Mydoma and accessing the visualizer, this is where you're going to be able to find it now. So right over here in your left panel, you're going to see visualizer. Okay. So when you click that, you've activated this portion of your account. It's going to populate, and it's going to bring this up. I don't know how to get this off my screen. Let me see if I can bump that. Yes, I can put that over there. Okay. So when you are about to start a new project, this is what your screen is going to look like. Okay. So I'm going to start a new project from right here, top right. Pretty sure you could also click right here as well if you were starting a new one. I always just default to top right. You get in the groove of things and you always just do the same. So that's where I'm going to go today. So it just takes a second to start your new project. Okay. Today we're going to be starting a project from scratch. So I'm going to show you how to draw a floor plan, just as if I had sketched, something on a piece of paper next to me. It wasn't to scale. I went into a client's house. I might have just penciled it down, and I need to draw that from the beginning. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. However, if you had a CAD, like a drawing plan, you could import that drawing plan. If you had a PDF, or a JPEG, you could trace over that JPEG and import it in here. But today I'm just going to draw it. So we're going to go right here and I'm going to draw that. Before we get any further, I'm going to give you an overview of what we're looking at. So first, I need to just tell you first, you need to be using a mouse, okay? Like Lauren said, if you're using a trackpad on a computer, you are creating double the work for yourself. It is not going to be an enjoyable experience, okay? So I use this kind of ergonomic mouse. I have a 1-year-old who is just always touching my stuff, and I like that this mouse I can use with my thumb and I don't have to move my mouse around. This is just something that is comfortable for me because it helps with my wrist. Some people wear wrist guards as well, but this one I don't have to move anywhere. I can put it on my desk and I don't have to move my mouse. But any mouse that's comfortable for you is a really great thing to use. I like this one because I navigate using this ball mouse, but make sure that you have clicks and a zoom, because the zoom here on my mouse is what goes in and out when I'm zooming in my workspace. So have a mouse. And when we come up here to preferences, this is where all your preferences are going to be. The first question we always get is, because it'll default to meters and millimeters, how do I change it to feet? So this right here under preferences, this is where you're going to go to set your preferences to feet, if that's what you need to do. So go ahead and do that. If you want to change your background color, if you work best with a different contrast. Some people work best with like night mode or something like that. So you can change your preferences there. There's many other preferences that you can set in this one area, but we're not going to go over all those today. Feet is really just number one for everybody. They want to know, how do I change it from millimeters, the default setting? Now up here on the top toolbar, this is where you can come and get your drawings. So if you're doing elevations, this is where you're going to find those. A little bit more detailed plan, ceiling plans, some basic floor plans right here with dimensions. This is where your gallery of renders will start to show up. This is where you go to render. AI templates, I never use those. Floor plan, you can do a furniture plan here. It still needs work, I'm going to be honest. I don't do a floor plan here. I build it in this setting. Toolkit, I don't really use that one either. Forwards, backwards, the undo and redo, you could do it there, or you can use your shorthand, your keyboard settings for Control Z, to go backwards and forwards, just as you would in really any other document. There's save is right here, but it does also auto save. Now, if you ever got yourself into a situation where you're like, you made all these changes and then you're like, oh my gosh, I really made a mistake and I want to go back to before all the auto saves, and I want to go like 3 days ago before I made all those terrible mistakes in my design plan, you can actually restore previous versions right here. Okay. You can start a new plan right here as well. So that's what the top toolbar does. Okay, so right here on the left-hand side is where you would draw a floor plan. This is where you would find walls. We're going to come here and we're going to do this in a minute. You can do doors, windows, beams, columns, door openings, basic. Very standard, just basic stuff right here. And then you can change them out for different, more decorative pieces. The program comes with thousands of models preloaded. They're right here. Okay, they're all organized. You can also search by image. We'll do that later on, right here. The enterprise catalog area. This is the Mydoma catalog. You're also going to start to see brands coming into this area. And Lauren has been uploading here, and our customer service team will also start to upload as we onboard more and more brands. And at the end of this, I have an exciting announcement at the end of this session that will include a lot of these brands. So Lauren, do you want to tell us a little bit about how you organize these?
Yeah, so the Mydoma library is all representations of generic products. So these don't directly coordinate to, any actual, real life product out there, but a lot of them can represent things that look a lot like it. So most of them, everything is organized by type of space and then broken down, based on things that go into that space. So like sofas, seating, tables, things like that. Probably the biggest category is our cabinets, which we're really proud of. We've got this whole library of generic cabinets that we've made that let you make semi-custom, really awesome kitchens that have different types of molding, different sizing, different cabinet fronts, different things like that. So there's a bunch of different categories that are broken down in there. And as she's scrolling through here, all the options for creating sectionals and different configurations of tons of different upholstery options for you. So we really have tried to build out, the best library, and it's always growing, so don't think that this is all that there will ever be. Some categories are a little bit more built out, some don't have quite as much, and we're obviously always going to be growing those. So this is all just to get you started until we get lots of those specific brands in. And regardless of what brands we actually provide, this program allows you to upload your own models. So that's an added, benefit, that if you find specific products that you are sourcing and working with, you can actually add those yourself.
And that's where you would do that right here with SketchUp models. So I will be uploading a SketchUp model today, and you can find SketchUp models from some manufacturers will have them. You can also use like 3ds Max imports as well. There are size limits, but you can go to like the 3D SketchUp warehouse library, amongst so many others. You can build them yourself if you are a SketchUp user and import them into the program. And then you can come here and upload. Same for textures. So if you find something that's in these libraries and you're able to change out the texture, if it is a real product, we do lock textures just for the stability of the actual product. But if you find something and maybe it's a desk and it's black in the library, but you need it to be like a white or a gray or something like that, and you can import a paint that goes with it or a wood texture to make it look exactly like the model that you need, you can absolutely import that texture PDF or sorry, JPEG or PNG file and make it look exactly like the model that you are working with, the actual product that you're working with. So that's where you would find your own personal library right here. So we'll be going over all that, okay? So down here, you see you have the 2D and 3D views. We'll be checking that out in a second. And you can see different views like wireframe and your materials and whatnot. And then over here on the right side is your various levels. So if you're working with first floor, second floor, you can change your ceiling heights, your floor thickness, your wall thickness, etc. That's where all of this will be. And then this menu actually changes. So if you are working on a product or something like that, this would change depending on what you have selected. And then this little toolbar up here, while you're working in 2D, your 3D model will be right up here, and then vice versa. So if you switch your view and you're working in 3D, your 2D view is right up here. So you're simultaneously working in both 2D and 3D at the same time. Okay, so let's start building our room. Today, we're actually going to build a home office because a lot of us over the past couple of years, if we weren't already working from home, many of us are working from home now. So we're going to be building a, we'll say dream office, even though today I'm not going to be building a dream office. I don't even know what I'm building today. So we're going to see how this comes out. But my hope for you is that after today's session, if you do join us, that you render something, and all of this training will be available for you. And I've even created this training in smaller broken down modules. So you don't have to watch the whole 90 minutes. You could say, oh, I forgot how to do a floor plan, or I forgot how to import a texture. You could just go search that. And that's available for you inside of Mydoma. and you could just do that portion. But my hope for you is that you come and you do this exercise to create your dream office, and you can create a space and then hopefully share it and tag us on social media. And we want to see what you worked on. Okay. So over here, let's go over to the floor plan. Okay. Remember where that was? Top left, floor plan. Let's draw our first wall. Exciting. Super exciting. Okay. So first wall, let's pretend. So all I did was click, okay? Just left click. I use this finger, left click. So let's pretend it's like, I don't know, 14 feet. I just clicked, okay? Now let's go down here. Okay, so now I'm going to do some funky angles. And it's okay if it's not perfect, but I'm going to zoom in here. I'm using my scroll. I'm zooming in. See how the blue lines are telling me where to go to make sure that it's lined up? Look at that. Now everything just clicked together. Okay, so here's something that is not correct, right? I have 5 feet 1 inch and then 4 feet 9. So I want these to be a little bit closer in dimension. Let's pretend that like I actually have this sketch next to me. I went out, I took dimensions. All I'm doing right now is I am readjusting so that these two are correct. I just pulled this line, this end point here, to make sure that these are correct. And now 15 feet 7, 15 feet 7. Now my measurements are all even. Let's pretend that I have my floor plan here. I just lined everything up. You can just adjust your walls by pulling and dragging. Okay. That's how easy that is. And at the same time, like I said, I'm building it in 3D. I can maneuver at the same time in 2D and in 3D. I can toggle right down here in the bottom left between the two plans. So up here, I'm just going to put my floor plan in the middle. I'm seeing both at the same time. Now, let's pretend that I need to adjust my ceiling height. That's this one right here in the middle. Okay. So let's act as though this is a 10-foot ceiling height. Okay. So all I did was I came over here and I typed in 10-foot ceiling height. Now I'm going to go back to my 2D plan. I love to build out my floor plan in 2D. And then when I'm doing more furniture and adjustments, then I go over to 3D. Everything else I pretty much do in 2D plan. So if you'll notice here, my floor plan is called Untitled. This is really my office though, right? So you can come here and you can select from this. All I did was I clicked the blue. I just clicked the middle. That's how I got here. And so this is technically an office, but if I wanted to name it something custom, I could come here and I could say Jenna's office. Just type that in. You can also do this from the last page when you're working on your floor plans, but I like to do it from the get-go. It also tells you your floor plan size, square footage for your area. Okay, so there's our floor plan. Let's go ahead and add some windows now. Let's go back to this floor plan. So here's the doors and here's the windows. So let's click a window. Let's just drop it there. See it? There it is. It's okay if it's not looking like what you want it to be right now. We can change it. Let's adjust the size. Remember that every time you click on something, this window down here in the bottom right will change. So let's act as though this is going to take up a little bit more space on this wall. So you can do it a couple ways. You can just adjust the measurements like this, or you can type it in. So let's say it's 4 feet exact. Okay. We can also change how high it is above the floor. See how I'm doing that? Okay. We can change the height. Let's say it's, I don't know, 4 feet 6. Here we are. Okay. Let's add the same window with those same measurements to the other side. Duplicate. There it is. Let's do it again. Duplicate. Let's put it right here. There it is. Okay. All right, now I want to center it a little bit better. Not gonna be perfect, but there it is. Make this one a little bit bigger because it's in the middle, got a little bit more space. There we go. Okay. There's this little feature on here called replace. We can come here and we can click that. And in the enterprise catalog, the Mydoma catalog, there's a few different options for these windows that'll show up from that catalog. Or we can go to model catalog and it'll show us a few things that look like this window that we can change out. So if you see anything here that you like, you can change those out, or we can find an alternative for after. Okay, it's actually kind of showing a door. So I'm going to undo that because I don't love it. Okay, so let's add a door. I'm going to, there's single doors, double doors, sliding doors. Let's add a double door. Put that right there. There it is. I want it to be a little bit bigger. We'll just go just slightly bigger. Yeah, I like an even number. Okay, so there's that. Let's center it on the wall. Zoom in a little bit. 4, 8, 4, 8. Now it's centered. Okay. So now if we go to the public library and we go to construction and we go to doors, we can see all of the options. So remember we went to replace and we could see a few different options. This here is going to show us all of the other options for our doors. So if we wanted to replace them, maybe we wanted to do this one. So here's the deal. Sometimes it sticks and sometimes it doesn't. So sometimes I just have to take this guy out. And sometimes I just have to replace it. And here's the fun thing about a live tutorial. You're going to see some little workarounds for when things decide to not work right. And that's the fun of this. All right, so let's line that sucker right back up. And we got the precision. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now we're back. And this is a clear door. So now you can see just out to nothing, which is cool. So let's add another little floor plan. We're going to click right here. And we're going to click right here. And we're going to click right here. And now we have a little room so that when we render this, it doesn't look like we just rendered into floating space outside because this is a glass door, like I said. So to complete that space, I'm also going to just add, and that guy decided to just change, but that's okay. So we can duplicate, and we're going to duplicate because when we render, we also don't want this space to look empty, right? So we'll add a few windows over here. And there we go. Okay. And they just slide really nice too. So if you had to add a few and just slide them up and down the wall, you can do that. Okay, so there is our floor plan. Let's pretend like this is an entrance. Perfect. There's a little entrance for us. Okay, so there is our floor plan. Measurements, we have that. We have that. I'm just checking my list, make sure we don't have anything missing. Okay, so let's get to the flooring. Okay, so when you are in 3D, you click on the floor and then it pops up with this little black bar. And you go to Floor Editor. Okay, so the program will come with lots of options for you. You can go to flooring, you can see kind of like what's under here, solid wood floors, you can see what's there, you can import your own. So if you go to My Account, you can upload your own textures there. You can go to Enterprise Catalog. Under Mydoma Finishes, you'll see Rebel Woods. This is going to come in handy later, you'll see why. But if you click and drag, you will see that you can just simply add them, okay? So if you like a different flooring, you can just drag it. Now, you can play with the different orientations, and there's a lot more you can do with the model catalog as well. But for right now, we're doing simple and we're doing fundamentals, and I love that floor, and I'm going to save it. Now, if I wanted to do this one, the floor next door, I can right from here without having to close out of this window. So I'm going to click the room next door. I'm going to go to Edit. I'm going to select the same one. And let's say I just love this floor. See this little star right here? I'm going to star it. It's going to add it to my favorites. And then when I go to my account, here's all my favorites that I've started collecting. So next time, I don't have to keep sorting through all of the finishes. I just know right where they are. Okay. So there's my floor. Let's add some paint on the walls. So Sherwin-Williams paints are loaded into our paint colors here. And they are sorted by, it says SW and then the paint color. Okay, so if you go to the Enterprise, oh, and sorry, I just did that the same way I did the floor. So I clicked the black bar. But if you go to Branded Finishes, Sherwin-Williams Paint, if you have your paint deck with you, you can actually just type in the number. So SW and then the paint number. But if you just see right here, so if you were to just type that in, you could find all of them. Unfortunately, all the names did not come with the paint swatches that we have. But if you're using this simultaneously, it is very easy for you to just type in the number that you want. So let's say for today's purposes that I'm gonna just use this one. And if you weren't here in the beginning, I'm winging this, guys. I don't even know what this room's gonna look like, which is kind of half the fun. So I just added that to my favorites, but let's paint all the walls. This color. Can anybody tell me what this color is? SW9657. What is that paint? Sherwin-Williams. (9657). Just curious. I don't have the deck on me. I'm going to leave that back wall empty. I'm going to do a fun wallpaper there. You can also upload tile. Now, of course, I'm not choosing my paint color based off a computer screen. That would just be silly. I am I would have the deck. I would have my paint already selected, go through that process. But you know, I'm showing my client in their space how it's laid out, all of that. This is just for confirmation for the visualization. Okay, so there we are. Let's add some wallpaper. Okay, so we have this beautiful blank wall. Let's do the same thing. Wall editor. So we have started to form some partnerships with some wallpaper companies, but you could also very easily upload your own wallpaper or tile. If you go to Enterprise Catalog and you go to branded finishes again, you're going to see temp paper right here, temp paper. They have a trade program, but they also have an affiliate program for those of you working on passive income. And they have some great options in here. We also have more that we are mapping, and they will be in here within the next week. So let's add something here for wallpaper. Let's go bolder. Cool, love it. So this is already in here as a seamless texture. What's a seamless texture? Because that sounds important. It is very important. Okay, so a seamless texture is basically a material that has a pattern to it that when you put it on a product or a wall or a chair or a pillow, something like that, it's not going to show up with a seam in the middle. Okay, so this one looks great. This one does not show up like that. However, if you have a very busy, pattern, something like this or something like that, where it could potentially grid and it could chop off your pattern, you're going to see exactly where the box is. I'm going to show you what this looks like because you have to crop it in the right location. We try and do our best to crop this for you, but I'm going to show you in a minute when we upload our own materials, how you can do this for yourself. More and more manufacturers are doing better to supply you right off the bat with textures that are seamless right away. However, they have not all transitioned that way. So you're going to sometimes have to do your own cropping. You can do this in Photoshop. There's websites that do it for you. You can even sometimes just do it with your own cropping in your regular photo editor. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's save. Let's go back to our design. Okay. So there's the office coming along well. Okay, let's add some baseboard real quick. So if we go back to public library, construction, these are all just kind of like fun little construction things. So we can add baseboard here. D. You can choose the one that you'd like. It actually will just apply it for you. See how easy that was? I started rendering, I don't know, probably 2007, when you had to meticulously add every single baseboard to every single wall. I just did that in 2 seconds. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so gable ceiling is the next thing that I'm going to add to this space. And I'm doing this today because this looks like $1 million, but it also looks like you spent forever doing it, and it's not as difficult as you might think it is because of parametric ceilings. So there's a few ways for you to be able to do this. Again, this was all under construction, which was under the public library. Parametric ceilings are basically retrofit to your space. Okay, so I particularly like, this one with the beams, but it all obviously depends on what your client's space looks like. So you can just take this and drag it, and it kind of already fits to your space like that. Now this is a little bit too low. It is sitting on the floor. So I need to bring it up. I like to do that by just using the arrows, and let me move this over here. So I just like to lift. Okay. So sometimes what you're going to find is that your regular ceiling height is not high enough. So I need to do a few adjustments, and sometimes this is a little bit more visual. Here's the thing about renders, guys. You have to trick the eye to make it look correct. Yes, you need your floor plans to be accurate if these are construction drawings, if these are drawings that your clients are working off of, all of that. But if these are just visualizations, sometimes you just need to trick the eye to make it look correct, which means I'm about to change my ceiling height of the actual room to make it higher to accommodate the ceiling. Okay, and it's also hanging out outside of here. So I need to space that. That's in the end. You probably can't see what I'm doing because it is behind there, but I can see it slightly, so bear with me. Okay. I'm going to raise this again, so it's not sitting in my door frame. Okay, so this should just fit right in your space. And you can also change your height of it if it feels like it's way too high. And there we are. Okay. So that caused something really strange to happen to this wall. And if that happens, see how right here, I have this weird little bulkhead above my door now? All we need to do is go to wall editor. It's where it removed the green part of my paint. It happens sometimes, easy fix. See this right here? Delete it. Save it. Problem solved. Okay, so now this ceiling is going to get right in my way, right? So one thing that we didn't talk about because I didn't have a floor plan yet was the different views. So you can walk over here and you can be in like eye level, but this is going to be right in my way with the ceiling. So I can hide it like this. And then if I ever want to find it again, this little eyeball just pops up. So if you ever hide furniture or anything like that, you can turn it on and off because this is a parametric ceiling. If you hid furniture, that's where it would be. So now it's out of my way. So I can work on my plan again, but the ceiling is there. Okay. All right, let's add some furniture. So let's see. I just want to check my notes, make sure I'm adding everything first. So let's upload some SketchUp models first. So this is from the 3D SketchUp model warehouse. Let's pretend I could not find a desk chair that I loved, or I had created a custom model in SketchUp, or I have a virtual assistant that had done it for me, a 3D modeler, which, by the way, if you need references, I have references to 3D modelers. And I uploaded this. So I downloaded it first from the 3D warehouse, which I'm pretty sure these are all free. Some sites are all paid, or like they're like $7 for like models or something like that. So low cost. And then a lot of brands are now allowing you to download their models as they're starting to come on board and create them. So we can accept SketchUp files, 3ds Max files, and like I said, there are limits to the size, but I downloaded this. And then what you need to do is upload it to your library. So if you go to My Account and you go to Uploads, down here at the bottom, you go to Upload, Model Upload. Texture upload is also in the same location. It's right here. We're going to do that in a second. So upload models. It's acting like I've never done this before. Thank you. And then upload from computer. Okay. So here's my SketchUp file, .sketchup. Open. Share. Model category. It just wants to know, like, what are you uploading? So I'm uploading furniture. Technically, it's a chair. It doesn't really, I haven't seen anything that is or desk. This is important because if you say that it's a ceiling item, like a chandelier, it's gonna adhere it to the ceiling. But it's a floor furniture piece. It's gonna put it on the floor. Submit model. Okay, continue to upload. So now what we can do is go back to our models, My Account, furniture. Oh, I'm under favorites. There's my chair. And then I can just simply drag it to where I want it to be. My ceiling looks super high because I don't have it on there. It's hidden, but it is not so high. So if I wanted to now change the dimensions, I can do that. So let's say that this is a little bit wider, and we can do that. Now this is scaling it as if everything is changing at the same time, which is great in some situations. But if I just wanted one measurement to change, I would uncheck that box. I'll just change one at a time. Okay. So this is an orange chair. Very orange chair. I don't want it to be. So I'm going to go in 3D mode, not in 2D mode. I now have that black bar again with material editor. So the public library has a ton of great materials. So if you wanted this to be like a leather, you could come over here and you could look through their leathers. You can sort by color. So if you wanted it to be a specific, like maybe just brown or black or something like that, you could apply it. I have uploaded a few of my own materials already. So I have my own leathers here. There's also websites that you could go to, and like, for instance, here's a seamless texture website. It's like 3djungle.net. There's so many out there where you could download seamless textures. You could also go to like Kravit or something like that and get your own fabrics that you can upload into your program. And again, we are expanding our Mydoma library as well. So that means minimal uploading for you in the future. It's just taken some time because we are making sure that we have all the best options for you. So you can come here and you can upload whatever you'd like to your own library, and you can just apply these as well. So let's pretend like I wanted it to be that leather. Now, let's say that it imported it and it's like a weird scale. You can come over and you can zoom in and out on your scale. You can change up your angle on your 3D model, and you can kind of play around with it like that. Now, the accuracy of what you're seeing here, it might not be exactly how it's going to render. So just note that. Each of these little dots up here also signifies different areas on this model. So if I wanted to maybe come over here and have a metal base that is, I don't know, brass, I could do that. If I wanted my wheels to be black, I could do that. If I wanted, say I just did that brass and I didn't remember it from the black part, I could go over to my account, recent use. And here's that metal, number 9. So I didn't have to go back through and say, oh my gosh, which metal did I just put right here on all these? Recent use will have everything that I just used, so I don't have to try and match and try and figure out what I just used. It's all right here under my account, recent use, all of them are sitting right there. Okay, so that is how you would do that. So buy orange chair. Now it's going to apply my materials, and there we are. Okay, so what if I have a desk that, let me just close out some of these tabs. What if I have this desk from Made Goods and I cannot find this model anywhere, but I have a picture of it and I want to find something close enough that my client will get the gist? I can do that. I can do that. But I don't want to have it 3D modeled. So what I can do is I can go to the public library and I can go to this little search by image icon. And then I can take the picture of it and I can open that picture. I got to give it a minute because there are like tens of thousands of pictures in here. It's going to sort through all those pictures real quick. Okay, and so now what it's doing is it's finding the stuff that looks so close to this. And so now all I have to do is figure out which one do I want. And it doesn't even have to be the same color because I can always change the color. So if it's black or something, that's fine. So that one's close. And then sometimes what I like to do is I like to use like, I find that and then I'm like, okay, but let's see if I can find the replace tool. And then I can see if there's something else that's even closer when I go to the replace tool, because that'll even like boil it down even more. Yeah, look at this one. That one's even closer. So the legs aren't perfect. I get it. That's fine. But when I present this to my client, I'm presenting it probably with like an image that goes with it too. So yes, we have the visualizer, but then it's also like a check if you want it to on the shopping list portion, that also like the proposal that then will be converted into an invoice once they approve everything. So now that I have this and it's white, so that's great. It'll represent it. But what are the dimensions? 64, 28, 31. Oh, keep going back there. Okay, so scale is off. So 64. 28. And then, sorry, my internet's like just being slow all of a sudden. 31. Okay, so now it's the exact measurements of that desk. I do need to flip it. So I just like to flip things in 2D. It just goes faster than sometimes it clicks over in 3D and does some wonky stuff. There we are. So there is that desk. Let's act like I want two. So we'll duplicate the instance. I'm just going to make it an L. Line them up. For smaller, like little moves, I don't like to use my mouse. I like to use the arrows on the keyboard. It just works better for smaller movements. You'll find that also with the white label cabinetry that we have as well. What if I wanted to move all of these pieces because maybe I want to add the cabinetry after? I just held down my shift and now I can move them all. What if I love this arrangement and I want to use it in projects later? Okay, I can do that. I can group. I got to move this. I can group them like this. And then I can save that grouping and add it to my favorites. Sometimes it takes a second to remember that I want to add it. And then I can select folder and I can begin to organize my folders. So I can say office because I've already typed that in. And then when I come over to my account, I have all of my little organization over here. So here's all my office. So here's my little grouping. Here's my desk. Here's all that stuff. So I can start to really build out my libraries and save myself time. So the more projects you start to do, the more time you begin to save for yourself. Okay, let's do some custom upholstery. So if we go to the enterprise catalog, you're going to see that we have a few different options here. We have a private label program, and this is from Source. If you're not familiar, you can check out source.com. They're also loaded into the vendor tab, and you'll see a lot of them in Mydoma. You can actually create your own custom line with Source and ship with a really cool, like your logo on the decking. So if you wanted to do this, where's the chair that I wanted? I had a chair picked out. There's two different options. There's essentials and premium. You can definitely learn more about this after. But if you were to add one of these, and then we go to 3D, we can change the fabric. Okay, so there's many frames, or you can COM. Tens of thousands of fabrics. Let's go to material editor. There's about 150 that come on this frame. And as of right now, we are working to add all of the 150 to each of the frames. So bear with us as we get all of these preloaded. Some have them, some do not. But we're working on that. So when you add these, they might not scale right from the beginning, but we will make the adjustment. And then you can just scale up and down, like I said, right here. And then when you're done, there you are. Or you can upload your own material. Okay, I'm going to show you how to upload your own material. And I'm going to show you how to do that on a Cravat piece. So if you go to Cravat, and let's say we wanted to add, we'll add this little ottoman here. Okay, so I would love this hot pink. So to grab this fabric, if we save this image, this is a web file. This is not going to save as a JPEG file or a PNG file. So that's not going to work for us. So what we need to do is we need to crop this from the web page. So I have a browser extension that will do that for me. If you don't have one, and maybe you already have this built in as like a screenshot thing, which is great. If not, I highly recommend that you get something on your computer that allows you to do this. I have a couple of different ones depending on the browser that I'm on. But all you need is something very simple that'll allow you to basically do this and save your cropped image like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back here to your upload models section, but we're actually going to go to the texture area. So let's go back to models. We're going to flip over here to textures. And I've already done it, but we're going to upload textures. Upload from computer. You can upload 20 textures at a time. I'm going to do that right now to save some time. So I have this one right here is going to be for pillows. This is also a cravat. This one has a texture on it. This is what I mean by like a seamless texture. If it has some kind of a repeat, that repeat has to repeat itself without a line going down. It cannot have a break in the pattern. It has to be a consistent pattern. So you have to crop it accordingly. So I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take this rug from Jaipur. I'm going to take that fabric from Cravat. I'm going to take this art from Cravat. I'm going to take this pillow from Cravat. Okay, while it's thinking about that, let me show you the sources that I just grabbed all those from. Here's that rug. To grab that rug, I took this and I cut out anything that was white around it. Okay, so I'm just doing this right here. Okay, and then I save that. So that's my rug. And then at the same time, simultaneously, when I grabbed that, I came up to my Mydoma product clipper and I clicked on that. And then I clicked on my rug and I added this to my project. So as I'm clipping my images, I'm also adding them to my project for my client. So I'm product sourcing at the same time as I'm building out my model. Notice how I didn't do a concept board.
Jenna, really fast. Yeah. We have a lot of questions about which extensions you're using.
Okay, this is actually an expired extension, but it is just a capture and crop in my other browser. This is a new one I just downloaded the other day. This one will not let me do it. Hold on, I can tell you. It is like anything that just says like crop in screenshot, that's all you need. Just make sure it has a high rating. Screenshotter is the other one. It's blue. Yeah, this one is, I went to get it the other day and it's no longer, I couldn't even get it to tell you, but I will try and get the name of the other one and a picture to send out with this recording, okay? All right, so where was I? So I'm simultaneously sourcing at the same time. All right, so this one I sourced and I saved, and then we reverse image searched, saved this to my projects, got the rug, saved this to my project because I'm now adding it to my ottoman for a cravat. Saved this one because this one can go on my chair for my private label with source. Here is an art piece. And so the same way that I uploaded my image to my rug, I did the same thing. Okay, so I screenshot. Oh, I want to make sure that the whole thing is in there, but you get the gist. So I took the corners, cropped it out, and I'm going to show you how to apply it to your art in a second, but I grabbed this and then I saved it. Okay. And then again, added it to my project in Mydoma at the same time. Now here is where we need that seamless texture. Okay. So this is where it gets a little meticulous. So what I needed to do is I needed to make sure that I'm getting the same pattern all the way through. So to do that, in no border, I don't want any white on here, or else that'll show up as it repeats itself on my pillow. Okay. So see how I have my white up here with the line. I want to find the same location here, just right above. And I could sit here and it would take just a little bit longer. I'm not going to do it because I did it last night in preparation for this. But do you see how now I'm creating the exact, oh, I should probably do it here. I'm creating what will repeat a pattern and create the exact same pattern over and over and over again when I add it to my pillow. I'm going to show you that in a minute when I upload it. That's what it means by creating the seamless texture. Here's what that looks like. See, I cropped it. That's what I did. I cropped it halfway. So it's going to create the exact same look. So these are the materials that I just gathered. I saved them to my Mydoma project. This is a, where does it grab it? I would name these, by the way, what they're actually called. I can only see half of that up there. Fab. And then this is Goldie. You can also bulk edit at the same time. So if you upload all the same texture or whatever at the same time, you can do that. Okay, material category. This is a fabric. I'm going to say that this is a linen. The texture or the material is actually going on a 3D model. So I don't even need to mess with the mapping. I can adjust this mapping with that scale in and out later. I have found personally that dealing with the mapping dimension is such a nightmare for me. And that's just me, you know, like if you love to get it so meticulous, great, more power to you. But that is not something that I love to do. So I will work on the scale and I will use the mapping dimensions. Okay, so for this one, it's weird how they put this one. So it's under fabric and then it's under the fabric carpet. And then this one is also actually just under, stop moving, 3D model material. And then it fits directly to the rug template that we're going to be putting it on. Fabrics, linen. A lot of our templated materials, templated sofas, and especially from Kravet, they're mapped already for linen materials. So like the textures on it are mapped for that. Okay, this one is technically like art. So if I can find something, I'm gonna say, what do I want to say? Yeah, we'll go with painted boards. Okay, sure. And then 3D model again, because then it's going to fit right to my frame. And then this one, fabric, linen, fit it to that 3D model. Upload textures. Continue to upload. Okay, so now going back to the plan. Let's go here to my little ottoman from Kravet. Let's add that Kravet fabric. under my account is where that pink just uploaded. Here's that Lima. I need to make sure that the white is selected. So look, it just accidentally put my my metal here, and that's not what I wanted. So let's go backwards. There. Okay. So I need this one, but it's going to show up way too big, right? That is not how big it is. And if you're ever in doubt of how large your texture should be showing up, just go back and check your material. Check and see like how a lot of them are going to show. Yeah, it's not on here. How big the mapping should be, so you can scale everything appropriately. I think that that's going to be pretty accurate. We'll know exactly when we render. Okay. And then let's add our art, rug, and pillows. So to do that, what we actually have done is we have some just regular rugs in here and pillows. So you can search by pillow. And you always want to look in the enterprise Mydoma catalog for the things that have like the gray background, not the things that have that take up the whole screen. Those are textures. These are 3D models. So if you drag one of these pillows and you just drop it there, and then you go to the material editor, you can override some of these pillows. So if you click on this texture, and then we grab that blue, and then we can go back to our scale because we saw the actual pillow. We know what the scale looks like. It goes like that. And there we are. That'll show up in a second. There it is. Okay, now let's do our rug. These are also located, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren, but under soft goods, which I think are under living room, soft goods, rug, pillow. That's where you can find these things too. So remember, you have to be in 3D to be able to do the editing here. So I just dropped in a rug. Let's put that Jaipur rug on. Drag and drop. Oh, the orientation of this rug is not correct, and that's why it's showing up weird. So we can angle it, or just find a different rug that is in the correct orientation. For the length of the rug.
Jenna, they're kind of having a hard time seeing the full screen. Can you close that furniture combination window in your bottom right?
These dang pop-ups. Sorry. There we go. Let me zoom back here too. There we go. Okay, so let me do some organizing here. Okay, so let's scroll some of these things. Put this guy over here. Move this guy back here. Pillow. Like I said, none of this is based on like design today. So no judgment, please. We're just doing this for fun. Okay. But I do want to see what you guys come up with. So I hope that you practice after, and then tag on Mydoma. Jason, if you're in here, what is the hashtag that we're using? And if you wouldn't mind putting that in the chat so that they can use it on social media, because I really want to see what everybody creates for your home office after you take this tutorial. Okay, so that I'm just duplicating and kind of seeing like placement. It's very easy to just move some stuff around. Now let's go ahead and add the art. So like I said, there's art in the enterprise library that you can just do over, or you can go to the public library and type in art and get something that is at scale. Oh, first day of school is here apparently. So if you wanted to add some like decor to your desk, like a pencils or something, you could do that. If you find some art that you want to, or some lighting that you want to drop in, maybe something that looks similar to an actual piece, you can do that. Okay. Sorry, there's people outside talking and my dog is looking to them. Okay, so here is a mirror. Let's add a little bit of wall decor. There's also like little key tags that you can use for when you're searching for things to specify a little bit deeper. These are just pulling some. I'm going to come here. Sorry. Where am I trying to go? Looks a little bit different than what I'm used to, so I'm still trying to navigate the new icons. I just want some art. Okay, decor, wall decor. Okay, we're just going to use this guy. And then we're going to make him 33 by 45. 33, 45. Okay, and then when we come over here, we need to bring it up. And then we come back to this, and then we can apply the art that I uploaded as a texture. Right there. There we go. And there is a frame already on it, but we can just change that out to the gold material. Okay. There we are. All right. So these pillows are up a little bit too high, so we just need to do a little bit of adjusting. And then I'm going to put this mirror up. And I'm going to go back to my favorites and add a computer, and then we're going to do some quick renders. Okay, so now I just need to turn my ceiling back on. So I go back to view, ceiling, 3D. Okay. All right. Make sure my pillows are actually sitting there. Okay, so now that we're ready to render, we come up here to the top where it says render. And we need our camera to be in our rendered space. Okay, so we need to move our camera over here to the room that we actually want to render. And I'm going to put it here to begin. Move my stuff out of the way. Just want to show you that first. I'm using my mouse to kind of see the areas that I want to do. Hold on. Before I do that, you see how high up my chandelier is? That's because it added it to the height of the actual ceiling. not to the height of my parametric ceiling. So I need to drop this down, distance from ground. Just need to drop it down a little bit. Okay. All right. So that's a super weird background for this location. So let's change it. So I'm going to start by saying there's a few different aspect ratios. You can do, I always like to start with 16:9 because it gives you the widest view range. That's the opposite, vertical. There you are. And then there's your grid. You get the most bang for your buck with this view, and then you can always crop later. Always, always, always do your test renders in SD because you only get so many of the 4K and HD per month. Now you do get 200, and please correct me if I'm wrong, 200 HD or 4K per month with an additional 4K, like 54Ks, but it depends on your plan. So either way, always test render in SD, and then you can upgrade your render if you love it from your gallery view later, okay? But this way, if you mess up something or have to go back and adjust something, you absolutely can. I always love to start with interior daytime as my light view, my lighting presets, and I don't mess with the lighting from the get-go because you're going to find that it's actually pretty good. Then there's other lighting presets too, where you can test them all out. Now, with that being said, they come with a variety of different environments. So there's more over here. Let's say you love your office being at the beach. I'm going to select a few different options here, okay? So depending on your lighting settings, they do come with a few different options, and you can also choose like where you can rotate your environment setting. So you can see what comes out of your window. So first, we make sure that my camera is actually in. This physical camera needs to be inside your space. Once it is, go ahead and click render. Okay, I also like to save my camera view. So in this black bar over here, you can save current angle, and then you can come back to that later. Okay, let's go to turn the camera and move it here. I can already tell that that art is not centered on the wall. So that is why we do test renders, we check things, and then we do our final renders. We don't render in the highest quality right off the bat because there will always be things that we need to adjust. It just is what it is. Okay, so I just made a few adjustments. Now I can come back here. Sometimes it's just faster to be in the 2D plan and move your camera and view it in the sidebar like that. Then try and position your camera from 3D view. Okay, I want to get more of my ceiling in here. However, my camera always needs to be in the room for me to be able to take a picture, just like in real life, right? So there's this little tool right here called clipping. I'm going to turn that on, move my camera out, and then I'm going to move this part in. If you have a very small space, you definitely want to use that. So like small bathrooms, move your camera out, move everything back in. Okay. So one of my test renders is done. It's a little bit dark, but that's okay. We have other options for testing. I also don't have any windows on this wall. So sometimes you just have to make your own lighting in here in vibrancy. You can also post render and lighten it up later. Okay, so let's see. If you click here, there's more lighting settings. I also like fresh sometimes. That's another favorite of mine. Let's try that. Let's go back to let's save this view. Let's go back to the original corner setting. Let's rerun it in fresh. Let's move this camera to the other corner. Okay, let's run that render. Now my fresh setting and my other setting have different environments. It's okay. I didn't reselect the other one because we are running out of time. And I want to make sure that I show you a few other things. So right now I'm going to take my panoramic. My panoramic is actually going to be right up here. I'm going to drop that in the middle of the room. And then I'm going to start it at a position that has kind of a cool setting. Maybe that's focusing on, I don't know, maybe that art or something. And then I'm going to render that. Okay, so this is a little bit darker back here, but that's all right. So it's just because it has a dark wall. I could also add in like light strips back there, a little bit more advanced than what we're doing today, but I could, sorry. I can also lighten this up with post editing in Photoshop or also in beautification mode. So if I love, but also it's realistic, right? So like if lights were not on in the middle of the day, this wall would be darker and these chairs would be brighter. So I could upgrade my resolution if I really love this picture. And then here is something that's a little bit brighter. This one seems to be like the fresh. Yep, that's the fresh one. So this is just SD. Let's say I really like that and I'm ready to upgrade it. I would upgrade that resolution to either 2D or 4K. Okay. And then we wait for that. So anything that has this little red dot is showing that it's ready. I haven't viewed it yet. Look at that. That's just SD quality. Okay, so with that one, I'll say yes, upgrade to 4K. I like that. Okay, and so while I'm waiting for this, I just want to show you how to do the floor plan version. And from here, it's right up here at the top in the project mode, floor plans, new version. It's a minute sometimes. So if you needed to just do a floor plan, you can just take off the furniture, you can take off room names, you can take off room sizes, you can leave on your dimensions, you can leave them off, you can write your text on here, you can change your name of your plan and change it down there, take off your area. You can change the way it looks if you wanted to, and do different background colors. And then you can come up here and you can download it as a PDF or a JPEG file. Okay, so that is like a super fast overview of the basic floor plan. And then if you wanted to do elevations or anything like that, you can come up to the drawings, construction drawings. And then over here, you will find that you have, see, these are showing sofas, which is odd, but that's because they came from our plan. So you will actually find that there's elevations on these plans. Some are more detailed than others. If I had all my cabinetry in here, which unfortunately I just ran out of time today, but if you look at the more detailed training that I've done for this program and that the customer service team has also done, you're going to find that there's really great training on how to do elevations, how to write in annotations, and how to download these documents. So you can do editing here. So like if there's characters in this that you don't want, you can change that out. You can do regular floor plans here. You can do various plan sets. I mean, there's just reflected ceiling plans. Yeah, I have that interesting ceiling on here, but only one light. So there's just so many different versions of what you can do for floor plans. And every day it gets a little bit more robust with what they're putting together. Because about a year ago, this did not exist. So like I said, it just gets better and better. So I'm excited to see where this program is going with all the changes that they do make. So let's get back to the renders. Here is one in SK, which is the basic version, 2K. Here's where that 4K came out. Detail. I think this one is probably the panorama. But now with Mydoma, what they've done is they have integrated this into your project. So if you have created a project in Mydoma and if you've been clipping the whole time, you can also create your product list proposal. They say yes, 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 or no to the products at the same time. And you've also rendered it, sent it right over, and you present it because the two are now linked and you can embed it right into your project at the same time. So while I'm waiting for these, Lauren, is there any questions?
See, I've gotten to most of them. Right now, there is a question about when uploading the CAD file, does it need to be a PDF or a working file? The last one that just came in.
Drawing file for CAD?
Yeah, so it can be both. You can put it in there and you can trace it as a PDF, or you can upload it as a DWG. So it can be a working file or a stagnant file.
So this is your panoramic. This is actually just an SD, but you can embed this now, or you can just grab the link and share it. But this embedded into Mydoma is flawless. Okay.
Right now, I mean, I think I've actually got most of the questions. If you guys want to put any in the Q&A, we can. Okay, can we see how the integration looks?
Sure. Okay, so you go to Files and Media. And then you can import your tours. You have like the tour that I just ran off. So first you need to select the floor plan that you want to choose from. They would all populate here. So I didn't do a 720. The difference between a 720 and a panorama is 720, you can walk through your space. So it's a series of multiple panoramas that are strung together, kind of like you're walking through Google Maps. So here is just that one office. You can do as many of these as you like. Okay. Just take a second for it to load. We were joking earlier because we were like, okay, who has the best Wi-Fi? I was like, oh, I do. Just kidding. Now I don't. Like halfway through, I was like, oh no, I have one bar. All right, well, that's just going to load for a second, but I've actually put a few through here, so we'll see. With my Wi-Fi. Yeah, there we go. Catching up. So this is obviously on my side, but your clients will see this soon. They'll be able to see it from mobile and everything. Very cool app-based format. Here's the one I did for the demo of the demo. But that's where they would be able to see it, or you come over and you can upload import your renders, or if you have outside stuff, you can import it here too. So this will now just populate everything that I've gotten from this project. So all the resolutions, you can choose as many or as few as you'd like. Like if you had a concept board or something that you did not put into the other location and you just wanted it to go here, you could certainly do that. Yeah, it's just adding it to the folder. And it will go here, I think. Where did I send it to? I might not have sent it there. I don't know if you guys know this. I just discovered this. When I'm collaborating with some VAs, you can actually collaborate here and upload 3D models, drawing files to a certain extent, things like that, which is really cool if you collaborate with VAs using Mydoma on the back end. But yeah, this is where you would just be able to seamlessly pull your projects, import, and then be able to show your clients this direction. Here's where I pulled them all. That's where I pulled all the previous projects. So if you wanted to start a trial, here is the screen to do that. You can just go to mydomastudio.com/trial. Here's a QR code. Sarah, is that 2 weeks trial?
Yes, it is. It's 2 weeks. And while you're on your free trial, you have unlimited access to the visualizer. So you guys can go on in and play and give it a whirl, follow along with these helpful videos. We're going to follow up with the recording of this session, as well as Jenna's also broken it all down into, I believe, 21 bite-sized videos if you want to do more of a sequential step-by-step as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, and here's my big announcement. This is what I've been working on since April. Super excited. So if you know anything about what I previously did with eDesign Tribe, it is that I love to put together contests and big prizes. This is going to be the epic contest. To end all contests, but we're going to continue to do this. So this is the virtual home tour contest, and it is kicking off right now. You can register for this contest at mydomastudio.com/VH home tour. What this is a way to win thousands of dollars worth of prizes, and also the VIP winner will win a trip to High Point Market in the spring. So if you go to that site, you can learn a lot more about it right now. But basically, a lot of what you saw today is our sponsored vendors, our sponsored models that are in here. We have a lot more coming this week. And you have this house floor plan where there's 5 different spaces for you to design based on 2 ideal client avatars. And one of them is a aging in place and one of them is a younger couple. And we will be giving you training for you to be able to basically learn more about how you can use this project for social media, for you to build out your portfolio if you're new, for you to enter to win raffle for gift cards for actual product from some of these vendors. And again, for that VIP trip in the spring to High Point Market. So this is soft kicking off right now. Next week is the official launch for all of this, but you need to register and you need to be a member or a user of Mydoma. You could actually technically enter if you are on a trial right now too. So if you wanted to do that, you can go to this website right here, mydomastudio.com, VH Home Tour. And that's how you would win or enter to win and get all the details. So yeah, that's what we've been working on for a long time. We've got a lot of great sponsors and a lot of 3D models that will be coming with this for you to use now. And then we'll continue to live in our libraries for you to drag and drop into your projects in the future. Okay, if there's no other questions, then thank you guys all for coming. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you around.